The subconscious pressure of putting food for your children and also paying EMIs is not a happy trade off if the center from which you took that decision was ignorance. What makes us human is not simply following the whims of nature or compulsions, but educating ourselves on levels and then coming to a decision with a conscious mind. Females in particular look at marriage like very thoughtfully as compared to men. What are the future prospects, potential of the guy? What dreams and ambitions does he have? Can I build a stable future with him? Okay, yo guys, namaskaram. So, back again with another video. This time I wanted to talk about something which I think concerns all of us on one level, and maybe on a deeper level we all need it, like what is true love, right? So, a lot of us in our hormonal development phase start looking out for true love. It could be our late 20s or like mid 20s, somewhere between that range. Well, does love even exist in this world? With the recent trend of increasing false cases against men just to squash money out of them. It has become more of a business model these days. The gambit of love is what all of us might have fallen prey in some shape or form. These days, it's become fashionable to hate both the genders and just keep on giving abuses endlessly. Well, all it does is it just emotionally stimulates us. But are we closer to reality in any shape or form? You all might have heard that, and I quote, love makes us blind. To be honest, I don't want this kind of blindness due to which I end up trading my life. In today's video, I wanted to explore this topic, which makes us lose our mind, and sometimes we end up taking decisions that turn out fatal for us. We want to end up marrying as quickly as possible for a lot of reasons. Well, in my experience, I've found that females in particular look at marriage like very thoughtfully as compared to men. What are the future prospects, potential of the guy? What dreams and ambitions does he have? Can I build a stable future with him? What are our personalities? Are they even compatible? And a lot of other things. Love for them comes at a very later stage when they subconsciously have checkmarked these parameters in their mind. My fellow men just look at two things, that is, how hot she is from body perspective, and then get blinded by the thought of having daily sex with her, who in the end is bound to lose. I feel men feel trapped in their marriages because they looked at the wrong parameters when making that choice, and now due to various liabilities are unable to get out. Just the standard stuff. You get married and in the initial honeymoon phase a children or two come out, and then you're stuck with them for life. We are not living our life consciously, but just through sheer compulsions of our animalistic tendencies. If you look at a lot of data as to why people end up in divorces, researchers have found that sexual incompatibility is the biggest reason that marriages break. This data is, of course, gathered from countries which talk openly about their life and not India, since we are too bound by a fixed sense of, let's say, culture and superiority in one way or another. What kind of love is it that only exists because of the body? Do the children who are born out of this sheer ignorance deserve such parents? Unfortunately, a lot of our children are products of our lust and not true love and thought. If we had invested some time in acquiring the right kind of knowledge, probably things wouldn't feel like a bondage. True love does not bind you, but it gives you the strength to fly freely in the sky like a free bird. Each moment becomes a process of breaking your limitations and then becoming more free. It's the type of freedom which comes after you have conquered a tough challenge. How confident and full of self esteem do you feel after that? Love can be one sided as well, and not necessarily have to be with a living person of the opposite gender. It can be with a particular skill set, a philosophy, a dead person whose art and work you love dearly, or just with your deepest self who wants to live freely. Every moment this then becomes a sort of a love hate relationship. You know in your heart that whenever you go closer to that thing, you will be starkly reminded of your incompetence and feel like a loser. Yet something in your heart again and again wants to go to that thing. Have you observed that once you start learning something after let's say crossing the initial resistance, you feel like a doped person who cannot live without doing that thing. You just want to improve at that particular thing time and time again, even if you fail every day, each moment. I believe everyone of us should have such a kind of love in our lives. Going towards the right direction is far more important. It doesn't matter if people stick with you or not, or if you find love or not. Having a sort of madness which keeps you centered on just reaching the right destination is far more important. Don't look for love from people, it's bound to come crashing down on your face. I've found this very true that the more we run after, and I quote, love, that is, looking for folks to settle down with, the easier it becomes for us to make a bad choice. Making yourself better and better each day is far more productive and a wise utilization of your limited time. Now, I understand, like, from a female perspective, that the time to reproduce is limited. Their beauty on which they will find suitable suitors or candidates is also limited. Plus, the societal pressure to get married, plus the feeling of staying alone and single in life, plus even if they get married, what type of household will they go into? What kind of parents or let's say in laws would they have? The costs are very real, of course, but look at it this way: do you really want to make such a decision which is being forced upon you by your own internal ignorance as well as the ignorance of the outside world? Can you really trust this society from your experience? What is stopping you to firmly say no and stand up for your own freedom? To my fellow men out there, stop simping. Look for a purpose for which you can devote your life and then try to achieve it. Hopelessness hits real hard after a point. We don't want to become an agitated, average person who just likes to bully others who are lower from us from a hierarchical viewpoint, to find some sort of fun and pleasure in our lives because we are so frustrated with everything else. It's okay to not have kins if the trade-off includes living an average life and taking out your frustration on your wife and kids. The subconscious pressure of putting food for your children and also paying EMIs is not a happy trade-off if the center from which you took that decision was ignorance. What makes us human is not simply following the whims of nature or compulsions, but educating ourselves on levels and then coming to a decision with a conscious mind. Decisions which we can decisions which we can take once we become aware have a certain depth to it. If they were truly loving partners, the first sign of the other, let's say having a physical disability, should not have been a strong reason for divorce. It clearly shows that relationships are made only on money, that is, the ability for the other person to earn. And if that prospect goes out, you really see the true colors. Character of people and the strength of our relationships, which we hold with everyone, are often tested in times of great adversity. Isn't it better to be real and have very few relationships, at least in your personal life, rather than catering to all the riffraff and fluff that goes on to maintain this fakeness? This fakeness which takes so much energy. Now, fakeness is good in professional world, but not in your personal life. Ideally, to be real on both fronts is a perfect place, but let us consider only personal life for now. In the end, I would like to conclude this video with a small analogy of sorts. That is, the smaller the heart, the faster it beats, and the sooner that being dies. The bigger the heart, the more slowly it beats and the longer it lives. We must become people who are just focused on creating value at each and every moment. It's a far better utilization of a limited time to, let us say, stay silent among fools, maybe even walk out or not even go to these gatherings at the first place. All this just exudes fakeness, which makes us invest a lot of our limited energy and time. So, I think that's a small POV which I wanted to kind of give on love. Let me know what you feel about it. And until then, this is Debashish Pindra from Debu Ki Dastak signing off. Cheers. Bye.